Hell yes, buddy. It's our Oscar season, so we are covering movies from the Best Picture nominations list. This week, we are doing American Fiction.
Yes.
Super fucking fun film.
Very fun film and a super delicate conversation about black identity that won't present any danger for two painfully white guys to talk about. And when I say white, I mean like flour is spicy to Ben.
Get fucked. Dude, out of me and you...
You're the whitest. Yes, I agree.
You are the Victorian ghost of this podcast.
Yeah. But I've also, worked on grime records, whereas...
You've been having that in your back pocket this whole time. That's just the one card that you're just sort of like, yes, but I've made a grime record in my past.
The publishers in American Fiction, who are those white people, right? They're sort of pandering, patronizing. We do know people like that. I had to once ask an assistant that worked in a studio session to leave because he was from Surrey and he'd be like, yo, bro, what's up, my G? And I'm like, oh my God, you need
to be from Surrey.
Right, just be from Surrey. Please.
Just be from Surrey.
Please just be from Surrey. No one's heard you say that and go, oh my God, this guy's street. They're going,
no one's going to walk into a recording studio and go, is that a Surrey accent? Racist.
What I found really clever about the white people representation in American Fiction was it's a bit grating, but that's the point.
Yeah, of course.
It's a very narrow...
Imagine being on the receiving end of that constantly.
But I mean, it's a reductive view of white people. It's a very narrow, very reduced view of white people. That's the point, because it's the film going, see... Isn't this horrible?
Isn't this annoying?
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. You want to look at this all day?
We're taking a whole group of you and reducing you to this stereotype.
Yes. That's what made it so fucking good, man. Because it was literally like, this is incredible. And I can imagine, we've all met that one person who is offended on everyone's behalf, just continuously. And it's like, buddy,
no one's asking you to do this.
It's not benefiting anyone.
No.
Right? Like, if someone is offended, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that happens. But for you to be offended for people at every given opportunity is insane.
American Fiction is based on a book by a writer called Percival Everett. It was published about 20 years ago.
I was hoping you were going to say Stag Alley then.
No.
I was hoping on it.
So Percival Everett published it 20 years ago as a sort of almost semi-autobiographical expression of his own experience. So it is... kind of by Stag Ali. He exec produced this film too, and he thoroughly approves of the takes on the work. Cord Jefferson, who directed American Fiction, used to work at Gawker Media, who you might remember as killing Hulk Hogan's career by publishing his awkward, horrible sex tape.
Hold on.
Yeah.
A,
yep.
I've not heard of Gawker Media.
Right.
B, why the fuck have I not seen Hulk Hogan's sex tape? How did I not know that was a thing?
Why have you not seen the documentary about Hulk Hogan suing Gawker Media for publishing his sex tape, which then also killed the company, which is probably why you've not heard of them, because they don't exist anymore.
We are 1,000% covering that documentary at some point. My research for that, sorry, I've got to download it. I've got to have it in my possession.
I've got to watch it.
It's research, man. I need to be as informed as I can be.
I've not seen it, but I can already tell it's going to be an awful time.
Oh, drop him, brother. You ready for the mustache, brother?
So Cord Jefferson, the director of American Fiction, worked at Gawker Media. And while he was there, they were constantly asking him to cover so-called black stories, right? So they were like, Trayvon Martin got shot, they sent him. Mike Brown got killed, they sent him. And he was getting so frustrated with this sort of really narrow scope of work that Gawker were asking him to do.
Wait, they were just asking him to cover specific black stories?
Black trauma, right?
Wow.
Right. Because he was well, no, because from their point of view, they were doing the right thing. They were like, well, he's the guy that would know. This is his...
I mean...
Right?
Kinda.
I can't cover it as a white person. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be qualified to speak. Whereas, so they were doing the thing that they do in American Fiction of well, this is a good thing. He got so tired of it, he jacked it in.
I imagine so.
Right. Started working in television where he made Aziz Ansari tolerable on Master of None.
That's a fucking tall order, man. That is a tall order.
Worked on The Good Place.
Great TV show.
Worked on Succession, which is one of my favorite things on television of all time. And
I don't think
then
I've ever seen it, you know.
Oh, it's incredible. And then he shat the bed when he helped make the Watchmen TV show. Yeah. But he wanted to make this film because he found himself consistently being asked to write fiction that was exactly like the stories that he was asked to cover at Gorka Media. And he's like, I got into fiction to avoid this. And now I can have my black characters do anything. They could like fight a dragon. They could go into space. And they're like, what if they had a crack problem and they owed their dealer $2,000? And he's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
For fuck's sake, man.
Right.
I want to do 2001 Space Odyssey type shit.
Yeah.
Why am I being pigeonholed into this? I can't remember the last time a film had me in absolute bits. Like I was fucking devastated. And then immediately the crying turned into uncontrollable laughter. I cannot remember the last time this happened, man. Like, for example, Lisa, Monk's sisters, just passed away, right? It's very upsetting. It's a very hard-hitting scene where you're like, oh my God. And then it cuts to her funeral on the beach, right? Monk reads this letter that Lisa has written just in case she passes away. And it is fucking devastating. It's devastating, hilarious.
But hilarious. Yeah.
It's hilarious, but it is
equal
devastating.
Mix. It's like, it really reminds me of Martin McDonagh's writing.
Yes.
The way that he mixes the tragedy with the comedy and because it's so funny, the pain hits harder because you're falling from a greater height.
So you've got that, right? And I was in bits at this. I was like a teary little kid just falling out of a tree. I was like, this is brutal. And then this white dude walks across the beach as Monk's scattering Lisa's ashes in the scene. He's just sort of like, is that human remains? Do you have a fucking permit for this?
Thelonius Ellison as a name, right? What do you think the roots of it are?
I couldn't tell you.
Well, his nickname's Monk.
Yeah, so Thelonius Monk.
Thelonius Monk, who's a jazz player who's very, very famous, but famous because his style was often described as quite abrasive and heavy-handed. Okay. Much like the character is in social situations, abrasive and heavy-handed. And there's a lot of writers, there's a lot of black writers and black authors with the surname Ellison, but I think the one that their sort of primary reference is Ralph Ellison, because he wrote a book called Invisible Man, which is a book about being ignored by the society in which you live and being given identities to conform to which are not your own. Ooh. So it's this kind of wonderful coming together of all these disparate bits of black culture, you know, black authors, black musicians coming together into this one bloke who works as a kind of audience surrogate
of just wanting to be accepted.
Just wanting to be accepted as you are, but being a bit abrasive and a bit heavy-handed and people not really willing to do it.
That is so fucked up, man. When you said, I'm bringing American Fiction to the table, and I was like, yeah, that sounds good. And you were like, it's fucking hilarious. It's a great movie. Get it on as soon as you can. I was like, sound. Zero warning on the fucking family issues that arise in this one, bud.
Yeah, American Fiction does not go easy on the family issues, and I'm sorry, because I totally blanked when I recommended you watch it.
So that was fun because it all came as like I'm so glad you mentioned nothing about it, mate, because it hit me like a ton of bricks time and time again.
The thing that American Fiction does that I've not seen enough of because I don't watch enough of this kind of film, I'll hold my hand up and say I could do better. Okay. But what I'd not seen before is a black family who weren't going through the stereotypical issues that this film criticizes, but also weren't just a white family painted brown.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just, we've written a white family and we've let black actors play them. They're going through stuff that is a direct result of the culture that they live in and the way that they are perceived by the world around them.
Yeah.
And they deal with it with intelligence and grace and dignity. And it's not because they're dealing with, they're not dignified under oppression. They're a middle-class, well-educated family. And it was a wonderful thing to see portrayed and something that I wish I could see more of. And it's out there. I just need to go and find it. It's on me for not finding it.